Good evening, everyone. We're on day 2 of chapter 4. Today we are going to be working with lesson 4.2, which you will be learning all about looking for a pattern in integer exponents. So we are going to be having exponents that are negatives, and we will also learn to evaluate when we have a 0 as our exponent. Take a look at your notes at the top of the page. Look for a pattern in the table to extend what you already know about exponents to include negative exponents. So here we have 10 to the second power. We know that's 10 times 10, which is 100. Here's 10 to the first power, which is just 10, or 10. Here, 10 to the 0 power is 1. Now look at our negative, 10 to the negative first power. What you notice is the base becomes the reciprocal, 1/10. And we write 1/10 as a decimal. And notice here, 10 to the negative second power. That becomes 1 over 10 times 10. So reciprocal, 1 over 10 times 10 is 1 over 100. Which is 1/100th. So if we go ahead and move on to the next slide, I have the first problem already done for you. I want you to copy it into your notes, and I would even put down the steps that you need. So when given a problem with a negative exponent, the first thing you want to do is extend the pattern from the table. We have 10 to the negative second power, which is equal to 1 over 10 times 10. The negative 2 tells us to write the base of 10 as its reciprocal. 1/100th, and then we write it as a decimal. Now, I have one that's a little large. I have 10 to the negative 8th power, and I'm a little concerned I'm not going to have enough space to write. So let's go ahead and change that right now. I want to change that problem to 10 to the negative, let's go negative 4th power. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, let's write the base as its reciprocal. The reciprocal of 10 is 1/10. So as soon as I take that base and I write it as its reciprocal, my exponent drops the negative, and so now it's 1/10 to the 4th power, which is 1/10 times 1/10 times 1/10, and then one more 1/10. We want to multiply, as our second step tells us. 10 times 10 is 100, and 10 times 10 is 100. So 100 times 100, we end up with 1 over 1 with 4 zeros. Put your comma in. Remember, start from the right, move to the left. So 1/10,000th. And now we want to write that as a decimal. 1/10,000th. That was easy, wasn't it? Let's go ahead and move on. Any number except for 0 with a negative exponent equals its reciprocal with the opposite exponent. So remember, reciprocal of a number is 1 divided by that number. What we're going to do is, the first problem has already been worked out for you. Again, I want you to take the time and copy this into your notes. And that means write down the 3 steps. So we have 5 to the negative 3rd power. The base of 5 now turns into the reciprocal of 5, which is 1/5. The exponent, we drop the negative. It's now positive 3. We are now in the denominator multiplying 5 times itself 3 times because that's what the exponent tells us. And the numerator, now if you want to, go ahead. 1 times 1 times 1. But I hope that you guys know that the base of 1 is always going to have an answer of 1. Multiply and simplify. Our final answer is 1/25. Let's try a few on our own. Our first problem we are going to try is -7 to the -4th power. Write your base as its reciprocal. Now that is a -1/7. I know that's very difficult for you guys to read. I'll try to fix that. There we go. -1/7. We need to multiply -1/7 times itself 4 times. It's hard for me to write these little fractions with my pen. Okay, we know that 1 times itself is always going to give us a 1. Now, I have a negative times a negative. These two together are going to make a positive, and a negative times a negative is going to make a positive. So I know my final answer is going to be a positive answer. Go ahead and multiply just their denominators together. 7 times 7 you know is 49, and 7 times 7 again is 49. Now, hopefully you have that calculator out. Multiply those two numbers together, and your final answer is going to be 1/2401. Final answer. Let's skip the second problem and jump to 4 to the -2nd power. The reciprocal of 4 is 1/4, and because we have exponent of -2, we drop the negative, and that's 1/4 times 1/4. 1 times 1 and 4 times 4. Great work. You want to go ahead and try the -10 to the -3rd power? I'll give you a minute. You know what? Better yet, pause the video and I'll write the answer in, and when you're done, you can check your answer. Okay, we are now going to move on. More order of operations. Oh, wait, before we get to order of operations, there's something really important we need to know. The 0 power of any number except for 0 is always equal to 1. It doesn't matter if the base is positive. It doesn't matter if the base is negative. If you have an exponent of 0, your answer is going to be 1. So it's not all about the base. Ha! That's my joke for the evening. Hope you like that one. All right, now let's move on to order of operations. Don't forget, because we're using order of operations, we should give ourselves a friendly reminder, please. Excuse my dear Aunt Sally. All right. Parentheses. Let's solve what's in the parentheses first. 6 minus 4. 5 minus, and in parentheses, we need a 2. Bring down our -3 as our exponent, plus -2 to the 0 power. Done with parentheses. Moving on to exponents. 2 to the -3rd power. Now, if you know what 2 to the 3rd power is, just write the reciprocal of that answer. The reciprocal of 2 to the 3rd power, first of all, 2 to the 3rd power is 8. The reciprocal of that would be 1/8. Plus, and -2 to the 0 power, anything to the 0 power, we just said it, is equal to 1. We do not have any multiplying or dividing, and so now we must add or subtract in order from left to right. That means 5 minus 1/8. That is 4 7/8 plus 1. Final answer is 5 7/8. And lastly, we have one more order of operation question. By now, you should know to give yourself a visual clue to help you solve order of operations. We're going to start by multiplying, or I'm sorry, we're going to start by subtracting 7 minus 4, which is 3. Notice I put my answer back in parentheses. All right, now we have exponents. 3 to the negative second power. Again, if you know what 3 squared is, write the reciprocal of that. 3 squared is 9, so the reciprocal would be 1/9. And negative 8 to the 0 power, anything to the 0 power is 1. 3 plus 1/9 is 3 1/9. Plus 1, final answer, 4 1/9. Way to go, everyone. Nice work tonight. Okay, so I would like for you to try just the evens on page 168, 2 through 12, and I hope you all have a great evening. We will practice more with exponents tomorrow in class. Good night.